grooming helps remove loose hair. While most short-haired cats are able to do this themselves by grooming their coats, some ingest too much hair, which can cause vomiting of hairballs. Grooming a cat not only helps keep the coat in good condition, it provides an opportunity to check the health of the skin and the coat. For example, checking there are not external parasites such as fleas, and checking there are no injuries to the cat's skin. Cats vary in how much they like to be groomed. Some really enjoy it, some tolerate it, some get overexcited by it, some are indifferent, and some run at the sight of a brush. The key to successful grooming, where the cat is calm and relaxed, is to introduce a cat to grooming at a young age, ideally as a kitten, and to introduce it calmly, gently associating it with things the cat likes, such as food. This kitten is being groomed with a clean toothbrush. It acts as a small grooming brush, a bit like its mother's tongue, and is more likely to be accepted than a large brush at this stage when the kitten is still small. However, many cats are obtained as adults and may need to be taught to enjoy grooming if they have not experienced it before or have found it distressing or uncomfortable in some way in the past. Cats usually groom themselves when they are relaxed, so it is best to begin grooming the cat when you see it is relaxed. You can check to see how receptive you think the cat will be to grooming by stroking it with your fingers first in the places you wish to groom. Before starting to groom, it is always a good idea to give the cat a chance to explore the grooming tool at its own pace. Reward any calm investigation, such as sniffing the tool. Once the cat is comfortable with the tool being stationary next to it, you can then pick it up and give the cat the opportunity to explore it in your hand. Spending a few seconds doing this before grooming commences gives the cat the opportunity to realise the grooming tool is nothing to feel threatened by, and in fact, being close to it brings rewards. This cat has chosen to rub against the brush, so is comfortable having physical contact with it, and so grooming commences. For cats that are a little wary of the grooming tool, after making sure they are comfortable with the tool on the floor and in the hand, the next step is to make sure the cat is comfortable with the tool being moved closely to the body. This can be done by holding the tool in the hand and stroking or scratching the cat with this hand without the tool coming into physical contact with the cat. The next stage is, of course, to bring the tool into physical contact with the cat's fur. For cats that are unsure of grooming, pairing grooming with something that they do enjoy can help create positive associations with grooming. For example, find a food treat that the cat really enjoys and do a very small amount of grooming. Stop, then reward, and repeat this. This kitten, who is in the very early stages of learning about grooming, is rewarded for every stroke with the toothbrush until he gets more comfortable with it. The kitten will thus learn that a stroke of the toothbrush against its fur predicts a food reward is about to come, and will thus tolerate it much better, allowing the handler to increase the number of grooming strokes that occur before a reward is offered. Other rewards can also be used, such as gentle verbal praise and stroking and scratching. This cat enjoys being scratched under his chin as a reward for calmly standing while being groomed. He even begins to groom the handler's hand by licking it, a sign he is very comfortable with being combed. Over time, many will even begin to enjoy grooming in their own right and no longer need rewards, or at least not as regular rewards. For cats that are less tolerant to grooming, you can try feeding them treats at the same time as being groomed. The treats will act as a distractor, allowing you to get the grooming done in short bouts over several sessions. However, the cat does not learn as quickly to accept or enjoy grooming using only this distraction method. It is simply distracted enough to allow it to happen and may not allow it to occur when the treats stop. Using food as a distraction is therefore not an ideal long-term solution, and one you may find stops working over a few tries. So, it is best to move on to the groom, stop, reward technique previously described to teach the cat to truly enjoy grooming. There are many different types of grooming brushes, combs and tools available. It is important to choose grooming tools that will not scratch or pull at the skin of the cat. For short-haired cats, a grooming glove can work well to help remove loose hair across the body. However, some cats can be unsure of them and prefer a brush or comb. You can see this cat is not fully comfortable with the grooming glove by the fact it dips away from it. This cat is more comfortable, but prefers only 2 gloved fingers being used rather than the entire gloved hand. Alternatives are brushes and combs, and these can both also be particularly useful for smaller body areas such as the face. Pronged brushes can be very effective at getting through dense coats. However, for short coats, select a pronged brush with plastic tips, as these prevent the skin from being irritated when the brush is moved through the coat. You can see here how a pronged brush with no tips can be harsh on the skin, particularly when the prongs are made of metal. For sleek coats, or cats that may find grooming uncomfortable, such as elderly arthritic cats, a softer bristle brush may be more suitable. Some cats enjoy rubber pronged brushes, which tend to have less but thicker prongs. These types of brushes can remove a large amount of hair with minimal strokes, but are not effective at detangling fur. Combs with closely spaced prongs, such as a flea comb, can be used on short coats for grooming, but some cats are less tolerant of these. Care should be taken not to pull the coat, which could cause the cat some discomfort and make it less likely to enjoy grooming. In any grooming action you perform, you should try as much as possible to mimic how a cat grooms itself, as this is what it is most likely to accept. So, use short strokes moving in the same direction as the fur. It is best to start with areas the cat is most likely to be receptive to being touched. These are usually the head, face, and depending on the cat, back and tail. As much as possible, minimal handling should be used when grooming a cat. However, when it comes to grooming harder to reach areas such as the belly, more handling, including gentle restraint, may be needed. Place the cat in the position it finds most comfortable and only allow the grooming to last as long as the cat is comfortable with. If the cat struggles or shows any signs of distress, such as flattening of the ears, going very still and tense, twitching of the skin, growling, or swishing of the tail beyond what is normal for the individual cat, stop grooming immediately and only start again when the cat is relaxed. For some cats, it may be easier to have one person to gently restrain the cat and the other to groom and deliver treats. It is better to groom little and often, for example, a few seconds to a minute or so at a time, and the cat feel comfortable with this, then try and groom the entire cat in one go and the cat left feeling distressed. Within a single bout of grooming, interspersing the grooming with lots of breaks will help the cat feel in control. A cat should never be physically forced to be groomed, as this is likely to cause the cat distress and as a result will make grooming in the future much more difficult. Furthermore, the cat may start to actively avoid you at other times as it associates you generally with this negative encounter. For long-haired cats, some of the same grooming aids as for short-haired cats are suitable. For example, the plastic-tipped pronged brush and the grooming glove. If using a comb, a wider pronged comb may be easier initially to get through the coat without causing any pulling of the skin. Long-haired cats need regular grooming to prevent tangling and matting of the fur, so it is really important that they don't find the process stressful in any way. Common areas that tend to tangle and mat include under the front legs, under the chin, and around the back end and back legs. Particular attention to these areas should be made. Since it takes longer to groom a long-haired cat due to there being more fur, the number of sessions to fully groom the coat may need to be more. For cats that really detest grooming and as a result have ended up with matted coats, the safest option may be to seek veterinary advice regarding grooming under sedation if the coat needs immediate attention. Once the coat is detangled and dematted, gentle introductions to grooming paired with rewards such as food can begin to start the process of teaching the cat to enjoy grooming. Ideally, keeping grooming aids handy will encourage daily grooming. A few minutes every day is more likely to be tolerated after positive introduction to grooming than a once-a-week longer session. It is also important to remember that cats tend to have thicker coats in the winter and may need more grooming during this time and at times of shedding the winter coat when the weather becomes warmer. The most important thing when grooming is to learn each individual cat's likes and dislikes and to mould your grooming practices around this. A relaxed cat is a much easier cat to groom.